I carry the title as co-chair along with Greg Wesley and Ken Robertson. I'm also happy to serve as the founder and CEO of Royal Capital Group. Royal Capital as a group, we're the real estate experts in the room amongst our peers. So what that means is basically we helped out with the site selection. We acquired the asset on behalf of the partnership, and we're sourcing all of the capital and financing necessary to fund this project in totality.
What is ThriveOn? It's amazing. It's exciting. It's our foundation leaning in a way that we've never leaned in before. It's powerful because it draws on partners. We can't do this ourselves. So we're working with the Medical College of Wisconsin. We're working with this emerging developer who is quite the dynamic person, Kevin Newell of Royal Capital, and we're doing this together.
What inspires me the most about it is that it's addressing issues that affect Black and brown people in this community. And it's focused primarily on residents and particularly the African American community and the needs of the African American community in Milwaukee. With our significant population here, the disparity gaps, the ability to get focused around those issues inspires me a great deal.
You know, I think we always wanted to find a way that we can have a significant impact on the social in terms of health. And understanding that the continuum of health and quality of life all centered on a few major components. That's all fall within the buckets of the social terms of health. So that's access to quality housing, access to quality economic opportunities, food access, and other. So us being able to identify this site centered around the needs for this particular community that brings in those components of affordable housing, brings in the centers and institutes from the Medical College of Wisconsin, brings in the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, all their social and community impact, and also all the ancillary uses that we tied to the site really brings a lot of the value and the big punch that we've been looking for. So we're super excited about all the elements coming together under one roof and then being able to execute on behalf of the community.
I'm John Moyer. I'm a professor of community health and pediatrics at the Medical College of Wisconsin.
I serve multiple roles. One, I'm on the steering committee of the ThriveOn collaboration, but my team also is going to be a tenant in this building and be part of the work that's been done here.
My role in the project is that I am one of the co-chairpersons for the Food Access Committee.
We're going to have about 40 people from epidemiology and social sciences in our institute joining the ThriveOn collaborative on Martin Luther King Drive with new office spaces. And I've been involved with ThriveOn collaborative for several years.
Yeah, I can tell you that this is really innovative because we've been talking about this for years, the idea of place-based initiatives. And so the chance to actually be in the community where the issues are happening and being able to bring people together to actually address these issues is really exciting. So I'm really excited about the chance to bring in some key collaborators across multiple areas: food, housing, school, education, all of those pieces in one place. I think it's going to be really phenomenal.
The coolest thing about this collaboration is that people are coming together for the right reason and the right cause without caring who gets credit for it.
I'm most excited about working with community to address the health equity issues and needs, to build on the assets and strengths in our neighborhoods, to listen and learn, to share ideas, and to advance the kind of research we can do with community and promote education programs to help our youth.
Yeah, so as you know, the history of Milwaukee, issues around redlining, residential segregation, this is one of the most segregated cities in the nation. And so most academic medical centers stay at their location and they actually don't engage the community effectively. So this is a chance for us to actually come to the community and really show that we care. Be present where people are, where they live, where they actually function, and be able to address some of the needs that they have. And I think the issue is not just about providing programs, but actually being present. And so the movement right now is to go to where people are as opposed to them coming to us. So this is a demonstration of our commitment to be able to be in the community and really helping address the issues. And more importantly, long-term commitment. So many times people come in for a couple of years and they're gone, but this kind of investment ensures that we're actually going to be here for years to come and really gives us a chance to do something meaningful.
And it actually is a thought of mine that everybody who steps in this building as a visitor will make that commitment to this building, to the neighborhood, and to the greater Milwaukee as we see it. So how we see a thriving Milwaukee is really up to each of us. And if we make that commitment and that collective impact together, things will happen.
To me, as a white person thinking about my Black and brown friends and family and neighbors, it's about trusting relationships, benefiting from the assets and strengths we each have to bring to common good. Equity means equal opportunities to have a house that you can call a home, and food on the table that's nutritious, and opportunities for wellness that are holistic, thinking about mind, body, and spirit, and the support we all need to do well. So to me, equity is just about fairness. It's the right thing to do, and we all benefit across our community if we have a more equitable society and hope for the future.
One of the challenges that I think we face is that we don't know it all. And so as we come here as visitors, as employees, or even for people who might have a longer term stake, we have to be cognizant of what the community wants and needs, and how that we can work together to meet that need. And so when we think about collaboration, we think about the idea of partnership. And I heard this recently. Partnership is really about relationship building. And that takes an investment, not only in the immediacy of now, but how we're going to be partners and build relationships over the course of the next decade. Faith is integrated with the work that I do, with the education that I teach, and to the missions that I engage in. And when we talk about food, it's such a basic need, but it's often forgotten that there are citizens, from young children to the elderly, who don't have enough. And so for us to be in this space and developing an energy around having enough is something that I get excited about, and it's something that I'm dedicating my life to, and hopefully leaving a legacy with clinicians and with students that they too can make a difference, even in a small way, to the community where they work and live and thrive.
People are not just numbers. They're not that data. They're not their lab values. They are human beings. They live in places. They have hope. They have aspirations. They have dreams. How do we bring all of that together? I think ThriveOn gives us a chance to make a major push to bring all of those pieces together and begin to talk to people where they are, where they live, and bring some of these pieces that are missing together.
You know, we can't just dismiss or walk past historically the inequities that kind of revolve around race. So race is at the center. It's created structural barriers. It's prevented balancing the equation that I talk about. It's preventing folks from actually creating wealth within the space. And, you know, the foundation unapologetically is leaning into that, recognizing that there's some structural changes that need to be made, structural changes that are directly connected to race and our history in that space.
You know, it's a saying that they say all the time, you know, what you do for us that doesn't include us, you do to us. So it's incredibly important for us to center our efforts around the concept of engagement and identify where we can be a solution in that process.
I think the most, I'll say, inspiring piece has been to listen to people who have invested in Milwaukee for a long time. Residents in the Hallier Park area, residents in the Harambe area, who are telling us what's important to them, why they stay in the city of Milwaukee. Many who could have relocated and done things in other parts of the community, hearing them and then being able to contribute to their vision in a small way and show them that they matter is really it's inspiring to me personally. And I've heard the leaders of both of our institutions talk about how they've been inspired. And this is something that's bigger than just an individual.
So my actual role is I'm the Community Organizer Fellow at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, specifically working with the ThriveOn Collaboration Project. And my primary charge is to kind of cultivate and foster relationships with residents, with community members, with other local community organizations, and kind of really be that bridge or that liaison between the community and the collaboration project itself. So I'm really immersed on the ground floor, just kind of really getting to know people, especially coming into the role when I did 2 years ago, really just kind of introducing myself and really telling people what my role was, but really just, again, fostering those relationships and just building trust with people throughout the ThriveOn neighborhoods. So a general theme that I've heard in speaking to residents and various community members is that while they are excited for this collaboration to come into the community, they are still just a little bit apprehensive, which is completely understandable. You know, in the past, there's been a history of different organizations coming into the community, not fulfilling their promises, lacking resources that they have specifically asked for, and so really just not holding up their end of the bargain. But one of the things I'm really excited for from this collaboration is that we have hosted a myriad of just community-led visioning sessions. And so really just, again, listening to the community and having them identify key priority areas and various resources that they would specifically want to see, not just within the building, but from the collaboration itself. And so I'm really hopeful and I'm really excited that because we listened so intently and we've had these conversations over and over again, just reiterating that we're really hitting the mark and hitting the target on what the community is identifying for themselves that they want and need, that we're going to be able to deliver it in a manner where people will be happy and they will be accepting and they'll just really be excited about it.
I'm just excited that there's a black man who I have personal connections to, that's getting the opportunity to develop the community that we know and that we love. I'm excited that this is going to be a growing thrive. We've seen so much happen on MLK throughout the last few years, probably about the last decade or so. And to see more of that and more investment, and again, the development that we see in downtown spreading throughout the city and into urban communities and communities that I live in and love, that's what I'm excited about. I'm just excited to see the continued growth and the continued life and development of this area. As a young professional, we're in high demand, especially as a young professional of color. We're going for premiums in larger markets, in larger metropolitan cities. And to see a city and corporate stakeholders making the significant investment in it makes me want to stay here. And it tells me that I have a future here and that my career has a trajectory here. People will always be the best investment you can make. Everything flows from people. And so when you have a community that's predominantly Black and brown, they need your investment. Again, they need hope. They need to know that there are people behind it. There are people that want to see them succeed and excel in this lifetime. And so people will always be, you don't know if you're creating the next president, you don't know if you're creating the next head of the Medical College of Wisconsin. You don't know if you're creating the next head of GMF, and that person may reside in this very community. And I will always say, again, until I turn blue in the face, that people will be your best investment, and everything else flows from that. Once you take care of your people will take care of you and your community.
We were fortunate to be able to make an immediate investment to help some of our smaller businesses along King Drive that was really suffering during the pandemic. A lot of our smaller businesses have suffered, no question around it. You can compound that 2 or 3 times when you talk about businesses of people of color that are running it, because historically they haven't had access to capital. So we were able to get in and get in very quickly and give small business loans to these with not a lot of criteria in terms of qualifying for it, that actually help these businesses stay around. Again, not a silver bullet in the overall space. There's much more work to do around business development in our communities, but we got to keep them around to be able to develop them. And that was our goal with ThriveOn Small Business Loans.
as part of this project or a part of one of the businesses that have been invested in this neighborhood. I think it's very important. I'm excited about it because for us, being able to have this business here creates foot traffic for our business. We're able to reopen our business, which we probably would have had a lot more difficulty doing without this funding. We're going to be able to reopen in January and come back stronger and have marketing and have the resources we need to increase traffic and increase our business flow. So it's very important, and we're excited about what's to come with Rise and Grind.
And with that, with being able to offer more services actually makes us be able to have more employment opportunities. So we will be increasing our staff once we reopen by 9. If this project thrives and is done right, I see a new Black Wall Street, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Sometimes the word philanthropy and being a philanthropist can be viewed as you having, endless resources. You're in your 60s or 70s or 80s, and you're at the other part of your life, and you're, investing in communities and things that are important to you. I think this project and the work that we're doing together demonstrates that there's a different type of philanthropist, right? People who are young people can be philanthropists. You don't have to have, millions of dollars. You just have to have resources that you are consistently investing in, and it's inspiring people to break down, what might be viewed as old myths of what a philanthropist is, and inspiring those who are more mature from a philanthropic perspective to see that there are others that are coming along too.
We all know that it's better to do once you see, and having the ability to showcase Black leadership in the capacity that we are, and showcase it to the community broadly. We hope to inspire the next generation. So being able to say, hey, we're investing over $100 million on MLK Drive and it's being led by Black leadership, that says a lot. We hope to continue to advance that throughout our efforts, and the long-term success of this effort will be tied a lot to how well we can demonstrate.
I think vision is important for projects like this and with Milwaukee to inspire. Day to day, you kind of see like right in front of you. And if you think of any kind of movement, if you think about any progress, it's always been based on some kind of broad vision that brings people collectively together. And when you're in communities that are not invested in as much as they should be, you have to have something that will rally people around something. And if there's anything I've learned in coming to this city is that it's a proud place. People are proud of, the community, but they want to see people invest in their communities. And taking a tangible building like this, where people have fond memories of coming here, breaking down racial lines, being able to be, respected citizens, and then an organization coming together to invest in it, I think is important. And it just shows people what's possible when you think big.
I'm a neighborhood kid. I'm a prodigy of Milwaukee public school system. I've been in and out of the city, but there's some real things that I've been connected with that having me at the table, I'm able to talk about the needs in an authentic way because I've walked that walk. I've walked the city. I kind of know what's needed in the space. I hope people will say that this was a start of something that was fantastic. This was start of something that was new, and philanthropy took a lead around it. We'll touch different people as we kind of, walk down our journey. We'll involve different partners, different players, and that's important because no one can do this alone. We really need to lean in and come to the table, leave our egos outside of the table, and work together to move our city forward.
When we talk about the need for us to all step up to the plate and be of service to this community, we see this as like a phase one. We see this as a way for us to demonstrate what we can do, But there's so much help that can be had here in these communities that lends itself well for us to kind of, invite others to the table and say, oh, the work is not done. It's simply starting. And so we want to invite others to this camp and say, hey, let's work together, let's find some solutions, let's see what you do well and how we can collaborate collectively.
Part of the best possible outcome from ThriveOn coming to the neighborhood that I hope is what will happen is not only the work that both GMF and MCW do and any partners that they bring into the space to deal with those social determinants of health, that the positive benefit from all of that work is that there is some level of empowerment that comes to the other stakeholders, the residents, business owners, and others in the area, such that even if there are issues that arise that are not about the social determinants of health, because of all that has transpired with ThriveOn coming in the area and people witnessing the growth and all that, the working together, the collaboration, that then becomes, a basic tenet of how we operate in the area to address issues, to deal with things, and that, residents, business owners, and everybody feels empowered to address those things. I love this area. I see the potential in it. I see the greatness that already exists. And I know that there is so much more that can happen. And with partners like ThriveOn in the neighborhood and in the community, I see an even brighter future for this Brownsville area and for King Drive. And I don't just claim it. I believe we have it. I believe we have the best King Drive in the nation. And ThriveOn now being a part of King Drive only makes that more true.